Hi, my name is Liset. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and my business is Designs by Liset. I was inspired to start creating when I was very young. I was about 10 years old, and I remember my friend mentioning a fashion designer. At that point in time, I didn't know what a fashion designer was, and I was like, what's that? And when I found out, I kind of clung on to the idea, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And I was very passionate about that. Throughout middle and high school, I didn't have any sewing experience, but I just was very into designs, and I became obsessed with like drawing designs and drawing out clothes and coming up with ideas for things. And it wasn't until I was in high school that I actually got into a sewing class. My mother found a sewing class for me at a local store, and I took a basic sewing class where I learned the basics, like the different parts of a sewing machine, how to thread a sewing machine, and how to do basics like straight stitches. And then I also did a class where I made a skirt. That following year, my senior year in high school, she found a class downtown that was called a fashionpreneur class. We got the opportunity to come up with a collection, and then however many pieces we finished by the end of the year got to be showcased in a fashion show in May. So yeah, that first year I did 2 designs that I showcased in that fashion show, and I also took on the daunting task of creating my own prom dress, which was very ambitious, seeing that I had very little experience at that point, and I think I had only finished one dress before I decided that I wanted to do my prom dress as well. But it turned out very well for the skill I had at that level. So I was very proud of it, and I got a lot of praise from my peers. The way that this grant will benefit me is that it will be able to help me fund my business, because everything up until this point has basically been me, or like I said, my parents. My sewing machine initially, like I said, my mother bought for me. Since then, I bought my serger and all my supplies and things that even I used in school or for my shows, or even traveling. Like I said, I went to New York last year for one of my shows and things like that. I provide all of that personally from my funds, and I feel like this would be helpful because I could use this money to buy those products and the equipment that I need, and then I could use my funds for my own personal needs, or also for other aspects of my business. As far as it goes when it comes to obstacles as a minority sewer or crafter, there's not a lot of representation for us. Even like I said, I became interested in the kind of creative realm when I was 10 years old, and it took me till I was 16 or 17 to even find a class that gave me the opportunity to gain that knowledge. So that's like 7 years of missed opportunity. Like I could have been great, by that point, but it took me that long just to find something, that was in my community that allowed me the opportunity to gain the skills for something that I had a passion about. And I think that's very important, especially as minorities. We're not always represented in this realm, and there should be better access to resources for us, and it's not always that. That's why I appreciate this grant, because it's basically giving minorities an opportunity to have a platform of their own and not be overlooked. And they may feel like, hey, I can't do this because there's no representation of a minority or a person of color doing so. I just think that's very important and something that needs to be more available to young people. So I just appreciate JoAnn for doing this, and like I said, giving this opportunity to minorities. Just want to thank you so much for your time, and I wish you good luck on choosing your recipients for this grant. Thank you so much again, and I look forward to hearing back.